Hey, Steve Mignani here at High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts, doing another high octane walk around, this time with a 1966 Ford Mustang 2+2. You can call it a fastback if you want, but Ford sold these as 2+2s. We'll get into that in a second. And this one does have GT350 aspirations and looks, the stripe, the wheels, the GT350R for race front valance with the open air, the GT350 hood, but these are all add-ons to what was born a 289 two-barrel C-code Mustang. Nothing wrong with that. And these parts look great. Of course, the GT350, Carroll Shelby's SCCA homologation road racer, was a thing of beauty, and there's no problem in giving it tribute. This is not an actual car, but it doesn't know the difference. Trust me. Now, getting back to the body on this one, the fastback, or the 2+2, if you ask me, is as desirable as a convertible, maybe even more so. But the vast majority of Mustangs in 1966 were the coupe. Remember those? With the big trunk, that squared off roof? Believe it or not, the fastback was the least popular Mustang in 65 and 1966. These were actually far much in the minority. Now, they called them 2+2s because there were 2 seats in the front, buckets, and 2 in the back, whereas the Mustang sedan technically was 2 and 3. So if you had a family, the sedan with the box roof, the bigger trunk, and the bigger back seat was your car. But if you ask me, I'll take the 2+2 fastback any day. You gotta love that beautiful massive glass window. Not quite as big as the 64 Plymouth Barracuda, which was a wraparound, but that's a big chunk of glass right there for a production car in 1965 or 6 when these things were new. The trunk lid on these, the 2+2s, is shorter than on a sedan by about 30%, and there's a little more difficulty in getting cargoes in. The good news is there's a panel that folds down. You could put a set of skis in there or any kind of a long cargo without too much trouble. But again, most people bought these for fun and excitement, and that's what's been done with this one here. The thing I love about this one here is the body-colored bumpers, kind of give it a little bit of a modern look. The GT style through the valance exhausts here are there for when you want to keep things quiet. But when you want to have some fun, around the side are side pipes right here. Inside the car is an electric valve, which you can either have side exhaust unmuffled or out the back muffled exhaust. And continuing the GT350 theme, of course, we have the rocker stripes, the number 51 on the side, and best of all, these American racing looking 5-spoke wheels with the heavy duty lugs. And best of all here on the back is Lincoln Versailles 9-inch rear axle with disc brakes. You got to remember that drums were the rule in Mustang land back in 1965 and 66, but no more. Let's take a peek under the hood and see what we find now. And once again, about that hood, it is a replica of a GT350 Shelby 65-66 with functional cold air. And yeah, it is fiberglass, and it's correct right down to the pins and the lanyards. And underneath this, what have we got? There it is, a small block Ford, but not just any 289. This one has been thoroughly fortified. First up, of course, is a Cobra 3 two-barrel intake manifold, which is something that you could have bought from your Ford dealer through the Ack Miller Performance catalog and added some extra power to your already hot Shelby Mustang. These are marine-type air cleaners with flame arresters. Nothing wrong with that. But most importantly, this is something that no GT350 ever had. Aluminum heads right here from Airflow Research, AFR, and steel tube headers. And those cylinder heads right there have larger ports and valves than even the mighty K-engine 289 of 1965-66. So plenty more power here than any original GT350. The oil pan is a massive baffled aluminum structure, which is also correct Shelby stuff. The extra capacity helps to keep the oil temperature lower in racing situations, and also the baffles and the design of it keeps oil from sloshing away from the pickup and starving the bearings. And then speaking of oil, twin filters right here, remote location here with high-grade tubing and piping and plumbing. Nothing here going to leak. That's race stuff. This car, I dare say, is ready for some weekend warrior SCCA road race type stuff. If you want to have some fun, you could totally do it. And again, the Le Mans bars, the fortifications here to stiffen up the front suspension, and best of all, a big aluminum radiator to keep this hot small block from getting too hot. And just a nice example right here of functional yet very sanitary presentation of a Ford small block right down to the Cobra valve covers. Now the underhood is one thing. What are we looking at inside? Let's scope it out. Inside, like all Mustangs, a floor shifter, and best of all, man, the 4-speed right there. Not a 3-speed manual, which was the base transmission in Mustang, but this is the 4-speed with a Hurst shifter. Nice tight gate on this thing right here. Great companion to that high revving small block on the other side of the firewall. This one does have the rally pack. The gauge is right here. Modern Cobra style steering wheel with the wood frame and the billet spokes, and the pony interior, which means the seats have the horse motif molded into the uprights here, as well as the deluxe door panels. Again, these things here with the upholstery and the vertical fluting, this is part of the pony interior. All these goodies rolled into one, making it a greatest hits. Now, speaking of this 2+2 body style, again, this one has the fastback, and this one has been equipped with a roll bar right here. The back seat is still present. Yes, if you can climb underneath that roll bar, you could have 2 people ride in the back of this. But one of the cool things about the 2+2 that helped to offset the narrower back seat versus a sedan is a little doorway right back there, that hatch. What does that thing do? Well, we got to find out. Now, I already mentioned how the trunk lid on these is smaller than on a sedan, but again, Ford made up for it with that little trick hatchway inside. And if we look down here, we'll see this little doorway right here with this latch on it. You lift that up, and you have instant access to the inside of the car. Skis, plywood, 2x4s, you name it. Grain, you can pour anything you want through there. But again, that's a cool feature seen only on the 2+2, not on convertibles or sedans. Now again, in keeping with the SCC and road racing theme and the Shelby GT350 theme, the battery is relocated to the right rear corner of this Mustang, which gets the mass of this thing away from the nose and over the rear axle, where it can do far more good than it would up at the front. So really a great example right here of the Mustang 2+2, and it's hard to imagine this was the least popular body style from a sales standpoint. About twice as many convertibles sold as 2+2s, and like 10 times as many sedans sold as 2+2s. Go figure. Nowadays, the 2+2 is the most desirable of the bunch. One thing I love about this car is the tires are ready for the job. These are Z-rated Toyo Proxys tires. Z-rating means they're safe from 149 onward, which is to say you could take this to the track and they would grip and be safe at this car's maximum speed, which is probably about 130 or so at that engine and tranny. Nothing wrong with that. And if you don't want to be conspicuous, these graphics, which are very cool, are vinyl. They can be removed. They're not painted on forever, but they look cool. And best too is the fact that the disc brakes in the back from a Lincoln Versailles, well, the front discs are original Kelsey Hayes discs, which were factory options on Mustang. So again, 4-wheel disc brakes, a hot small block with aluminum cylinder heads, a 4-speed manual transmission, a roll bar, Z-rated tires, and the full GT350 look. This is a great little 2+2 Mustang. 2+2 equals 5 in this case right here, although it is a 1966, but you know what I'm talking about. To learn more about this car, check it out on the High Octane Classics website.